I believe there is so much guilt, shame, condemnation around mental health. And you have to just really go to God with that, because that's what keeps you bound. Because you're a Christian, you're not supposed to be depressed.
I know.
So I feel that if you feel bad about feeling bad, that adds another layer.
It's terrible. The guilt
and you
and the
disqualify.
condemnation.
Correct. So for me, God had to remove the condemnation, because I've been shamed for my mental health journey, and people just don't understand, and they don't know. They just say dumb things. But once you remove that layer of condemnation and then you recognize what it is, it's like when Peter walked out on water. If your eyes, I know when my eyes are looking down now, when I take my eyes off God, I go back there. Now the power has been broken, but when we take our eyes off God anyways, we drown.
Yeah.
And so that's how I see depression. I see it as something that it doesn't mean you're never going to feel it. And the devil comes and says, see, God didn't really set you free from that. So I believe that we have to be so discerning and say, Lord, I know you've set me free from this. But we walk that out in faith, in partnership with God, and we say, okay, I know when my eyes are drifting, like looking down at the storm, looking down at whatever's going on, and our eyes have to be fixed on Him. So for me, that's just been my experience, but I'd love for you to share what God did in that for you and what it's like, because I believe this is something we don't talk about enough, and a lot of people are experiencing it, especially this past few years.
Yeah, it got so bad that I started having panic attacks, and that's not, like, I was a girl who the teachers would select to befriend the newcomers. You know, I was the student counsellor. I was the captain of my school faction. I was very confident, very sporty, very musical as well. So I had that balance, and I was very much a social, friendly person. But something happened when Nate and I got married and we just began to have children. It was like the chemistry of my body changed, and I became a monster. I became a mum monster. Grumpy, grouchy, not supportive of my husband, and if anything, attacking his leadership in the home and just telling him he's not doing it right and he's not good enough and all those sorts of things. That's not what a husband needs to hear. But I remember sort of slumping down by the toilet in the bathroom one day and just spiraling, and you get familiar with that experience, but you can't articulate when you don't have a spiritual concept of what's going on. You can't articulate what's happening. You just think, here I go again. Here I go again. I'm spiraling down into the pit, and I'm going to be here for 3 days. And maybe on the third day, hopefully, it'll just, that dark cloud will just lift off, and boom, I'll be back to my normal self again. And so I remember slumping down by the toilet. I was the only one home, and I just remember just not even crying, because you don't cry when you're depressed. It's like this. Think of a right word to describe it.
Like a numbness almost?
It's a numbness, but it's almost like a trance. It's like a numb trance where you stop feeling. And I just felt like I was going down that. Look at me, look at what I've become. Look what I've become. Selfie. No, but yeah, and then this becomes cyclic, when you've just got to try and ride it out, take your medications, keep going and seeing different doctors, because one day, hopefully, you might hit the jackpot and you might get the right doctor who can prescribe the right medication and who can say the right things that will fix the problem. And so that was me for 15 years. And sometimes I was bedridden for 3 days because you're useless.
Yes. The enemy then, you're opening a door for him to speak to you. And
Yes,
I believe
definitely.
his voice, because you do, and I mentioned condemnation and guilt and shame. I believe there is so much guilt, shame, condemnation around mental health. And you have to just really go to God with that, because that's what keeps you bound.